Well, hi. As you can probably tell, I'm not in my usual haunt this week. This is the cabin that my father's been stuck in while they renovate his house. So this week has been the kind of week where everything that could go wrong has. Not only that, but it's given my gag the chance to say those words beloved of parents, childcare professionals, and astrologers the world over.
Well, I told you so.
A line that, like gonorrhea, may make you wince, but it's still much more pleasurable to give than to receive. Or at least that's the impression I got from my ex before she left me with the clap. Only joking. At least, I hope I am. Oh, Tito, do you have to do that here? Oh, I see. Did I mention my ex?
The Graticast! Episode 8. Lost Girls, Ballads and Car Tax.
So anyway, my car tax disc arrived last month. Ordered on time and everything. "Now you must put that in straight away," said Gag as he drove me to the airport for my flight to Turkey. Well, I couldn't exactly do it then, could I? But he told me to make sure I put it in as soon as I got back, which I would have done if I hadn't have been dashing off to perform at events here, or being invited to parties there, or, you know, all that hard procrastination I was doing. So eventually a police officer came along and stuck an on-the-spot fine to my car windscreen, effectively doubling the price of the tax. Isn't it nice to know that crime is so low they even have time to check those tiny little pieces of paper in car windscreens? Then there was the ballad that I offered to compose and perform for a friend's birthday party. Now this should have been an easy offer. I mean, I write ballads all the time for my work, but just before I left for the party, I thought I'd have one last practice and broke a string on my acoustic. Not to panic, I thought, I still have my electric, but it turned out that the DJ of all people didn't have any headphones, so he couldn't test my sound or my tuning before patching through his system, and it turned out one or two of the cables that I was using had developed a rather nasty crackle, so it sounded questionable at least. And to top it off, while packing up afterwards, I somehow managed to misplace my plectrum, a rare sixpence with the head of Brian May. At this point, my stress levels were so high, I was ready to flip. But without my sixpence, I couldn't even do that. These are just two examples of how everything was going wrong for me this week. And I was thinking about them as I was walking up Huntington Road in Cambridge one night, when suddenly a lovely young lass pulled alongside me on her bike, asking for directions to Trumpington Street. Seeing the direction that she was going, I very regretfully had to tell her that she was the right distance from the city, just in the opposite direction. But I offered to give her a lift in my car, thinking her bike would fit in my boot real easily. Well, to be honest, she probably could have cycled there in the time it took me to twist her handlebars round and find a way to shove that bike into my boot. But she was still very grateful when eventually I did drop her off outside the address she had on Trumpington Street. And as I left, the heavens opened, and I felt glad that I had completed my random act of kindness in time to stop that girl from getting absolutely drenched. However, what I didn't know was, back there on the street, she was just phoning up her friend to let them know that she'd arrived on Trumpington Street and been told that she'd clearly misheard. She actually needed to be on Huntington Road, the street that I'd just picked her up from. Meaning she now had a very long cycle in the pouring rain. So, over the course of a week, I had been failed by my memory, by technology, and even by my own good intentions. That could seriously have ruined my whole week. But later on, as I looked into my cupboard and saw I had just a thin slither of whiskey left, not even enough to drink away my hopeless blues into tipsy, melancholic greys, shifting later into deep, regretful blacks, and eventually a psychedelic headache, I realised, look, the reason my memory had failed me lately, well, that was because of all the great things I'd been doing, such as performing at science fates all the way from Coventry to London, working and partying with some brilliant, beautiful friends, the fantastic Game of Thrones Season 4 finale, an evening spent being a model for an incredibly talented makeup artist. Actually, do you know what? It was worth paying that car tax fine, to be reminded of all the awesomenicity I'd been able to enjoy all week. And okay, so technology failed me at that party, but did birthday girl care? Of course not. She loved every ounce of sentiment that went into that song from me, her other friends, and of course, her devoted husband. And I promise you, little feels better than putting a smile on the face of another. So what if altruism has an ulterior motive of self-satisfaction? It's still a damn better glue for society than slavery or reality TV or Michael Gove. And I can't count my blessings for this week without going back to the tale of that lost girl on her bike. Wondering how I know what happened to her after I left her in the wrong part of the city? Well, that's because just before I left, she asked if we could swap numbers, which we did, and so met up later to have a drink. And as it turned out, a fairground ride. That was a bloody good evening. So what do you know, hey Tito? Concentrating on the positives has, once again, left me feeling pretty good. In just the right mood, in fact, to have a look and see what blessings you folks have been counting. Now on Facebook I can see Tracy from Canterbury is really grateful that a new season of Glee began last Thursday. TV shows are great for always leaving us with something to look forward to, aren't they? And we have many thanks from Emma from near Bury St Edmunds, who was grateful to Duncan and Jan for inviting her onto an exciting project, turning this young man into an elderly gentleman. Emma couldn't have done it without the quick service of Mould Life, assistance from her friend Sophie, and well-earned ice cream supplied by her dad, let alone the support of her boyfriend Mike. So, cheers to you all! One of my favourites on Twitter this week came from Ronnie Canestro, who pointed out, "You don't really appreciate all the little things that your parents buy for you until you have to buy them yourself." So thanks, mums and dads. Russell from London Youth Games wanted to thank the 500 volunteers who have been helping kids fall in love with sport. We've also got Clay Cross Food Bank, who wanted to thank their volunteers who helped them collect some food donations. It's great to see so many of you sharing your time and energy to help others, so well done, folks. And on a similar note, Karen and Amy wanted to share their thanks for websites like Let's Do It for ME, which allow folks like you the chance to raise funds for vital research completely free, simply by thinking. That's right, all you have to do is think enough to visit their website before your next internet shop, and some of the revenue from your purchases can go to ME-related charities. As I'm sure you know, ME research is an issue that's close to the heart of the Graticast, so please do visit Let's Do It for ME. I'll pop the link on our social media, and save it to your favourites so you can nip over there anytime you get the urge to do some internet shopping. Now it's time for our Gratitune, which this week comes from Claire in Suffolk. It's called Colour My World, and it's from the Priscilla musical. There'll be a link to the full song at the end of this video, but don't forget to let me know your musical pick-me-up suggestions for next week. Just drop me a post on Google+, Facebook or Twitter. So finally, thank you for watching. Before I leave you though, one last thing. If it seems that nothing is turning out right, just remember, if you keep turning left at all the appropriate places, you'll still reach the same destination. Stay thankful, and ciao for now.